Make it special. Make it Maloney.
Renee, we did it.
We did it.
We did it, right?
I'm psyched to be here.
You know, it's so funny. When people come on the show, it's usually because of my persistence gene. You know, I suggest it, and then, it finally happens. And I appreciate you being here, especially on a week where, quite honestly, we got messed up. You can see my co-host, Karen, isn't here. We miss her. But we ended up doing this on a Thursday because of the big snowstorm we had. By the way, how'd you do in that snowstorm, both of you? Stan Loucks, trustee, Port Jeff Village. Renee Lemmerman, welcome.
Thank you.
How'd you do?
You know
it's
what?
quite weird.
I sat in front of the fireplace, looked out the window, watched my son and husband shovel. So I had a great time.
You had a great time. Maybe a little wine involved once in a
Exactly.
while. Okay. How about yourself? Because you've been traveling a lot. South?
I was in the South for 2 months this winter. Came back too early.
I would say you did.
Came back to 2 snowstorms. I came back for the previous board meeting where we had that big snowstorm. And I came back on Tuesday night and stayed here until Sunday night, not by choice.
Uh-huh.
All the airplane out of Islip were canceled. This last snowstorm, I did pretty much what Renee did. I stayed in the house waiting for the snow to come. It didn't come. Got my snowblower all tuned up. And
when you go south, where do you go?
we have a little condo on Tierra Verde, which is a island south of St. Pete's Beach.
Beautiful.
It's got a little drawbridge that goes out to the island, and pretty big island. A lot of people there. Very nice.
You have to make a mental note for the March really is the new February.
Right.
You know, because there were days in February where we were in T-shirts.
Right.
So my son tells me this is, still global warming because the extremes are getting. It's not like, oh, it's really cold out. The heck with global warming. It's the extremes, that the weirdness of the weather. So what it is what it is, but we're looking outside now. The icebergs have melted. We're back in the Brookhaven room at Danford's. And I thought I'd have you both on because a lot of residents don't know exactly what you do, and we want to expose that. Renee, I see you all the time in the Village Center. Why don't we describe what you do for the Village?
Yep. So my job as superintendent of recreation and parks is to manage the Village Center, provide programs there. We have the Harborfront Trio that gives free concerts. We have a classical music series. We have an after-school program there for children from 3 to 6, so they get bused from the elementary school. They go right to the Village Center. We have fencing classes. We have Pilates classes. We have yoga classes. We have a lot of different things going on there. Doors open at 9 a.m. We generally close at 9 p.m. During the summer, we have all of our concerts in place, our children's shows, our movies on the harbors. So we do a lot of different things, and we're kind of, all over the place.
It's wonderful. I mean, the way you describe it, it really sounds like a country club. I don't know if people know how fortunate they are if they live in the Village to take advantage of these things. It's so many wonderful things and rich.
Yes.
Rich depth.
Yep, and we try to do everything from, exercise and music with 3 and 4-year-olds all the way up to, 80, 85 with our gentle yoga programs and beginner fitness programs, our music programs. So we try to do a lot of different things, and it's hard. Scheduling all of that
Sure.
and getting the right programs to see if they fit. I've lived in the Village about 15 years. I've only been in this job going on 3 years, and it's really important to me that families can use our village and stay in our village, because I found for myself, I was traveling outside the village to go for tennis programs with my child, or soccer programs, or music programs. So when I got here, I was really determined that people can walk right down the road to our Village Center, or go right up to our country club, or to our village courts, or our basketball courts, or wherever, and just stay in our village and provide all these wonderful programs. So that's been a challenge, but I think we're doing well.
Wonderful.
Doing more than well.
Do you take advantage, Stan, of any of these activities?
I do.
I mean, you oversee them as well, right? Or you were saying.
I oversee them. I've lived here for 37 years,
Okay.
and I never realized how expansive these programs are until I became a trustee. And the mayor put me as the liaison to the Village Center, to the Recreation Department, and now picked up the Parks Department recently. Liaison to the Country Club, which includes the golf membership and the tennis membership. This village is super fortunate to have
It is.
all of these programs. And again, I never realized how expansive the program was until I got involved and started to work with Renee. And it's getting bigger and bigger every year. We're expanding every year.
How many parks are in Port Jeff Village? Or approximately, I'm not going to hold you to it. I mean,
5.
all right. So we have parks down to.
Caroline.
Yeah, we're technically we're counting the country club as a park.
Yes.
It is designated as a park, so 5.
5 or 6.
Yeah.
5 or 6. And then do you have programs at the beaches as well?
We do.
Yeah.
So when I started here, I wanted to do a beach camp where children could go right down to our beach. They could do stand-up paddle. They could take swim lessons. We put a gaga bowl pit down there. We have lifeguards down there. So now families can sign their children up for, we call it our beach camp program. Last year we tied in our beach camp program with our country club. So kids go down to the beach, and then at 12 o'clock they take a bus, they go up to the country club, and they
Wonderful.
do golf and tennis. Again, using our community and allowing our families to really use our community is
Inclusively,
right.
not having to go out.
Right,
That's fantastic. What are some of the things that we should look forward to this year? I know there's been some upgrades recently in the country club, a lot of upgrades. In the last 4 years anyway, right?
Yes, in the last 4 years, the country club has, number one, put in a state-of-the-art maintenance building. We put in a new irrigation system on the golf course. We've brought in a superintendent that has turned our country club into a super facility. This year, we've expanded the grill room, total renovation in the grill room up here.
And anybody can go to the grill room. I think that's
Correct.
important to note. That's not club members.
No, the grill room is open to all village residents at the present time. If you haven't seen it, you got to go up and look at it.
I do want to see it.
It's you won't recognize it. Right now, it's kind of messy up there. I myself have been spending a lot of time up there. I've got a little crew of volunteers that we've taken on a lot of the responsibilities up there. We've expanded our tennis program up there. We brought in a new team of professionals this year. Everything is super up there. It's,
How much of our mayor, Margot, her direction plays into keeping these programs alive? For example, the tennis. I know she loves tennis, played it many, many years she played. How much does that go into your interaction with the mayor in keeping this alive as a program?
I mean, I personally have a lot of interaction with her
Absolutely.
because I meet with her monthly to give her updates on what I'm doing in the parks, where we want to go, and and her dedication, her love for this village and for the families. So she really supports all of the programming that we do, whether it's at the country club or it's at one of our parks, or redoing our basketball courts, redoing our tennis courts. She's behind it 100%.
And the beautification of the we had was it Karen, right? Kareptis on.
Yes.
And we went over Margot behind the beautification of the village and keeping that up. And I had no idea these little pockets that are always constantly being filled with beautiful flowers. And
Right.
all. That's part of it too.
oh yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I understand you guys as trustees are up for election, correct?
I am up for election this year.
Now, people need to know that the election is in June. When we think of elections, it's usually November. It is June, right?
It is June.
Correct.
And who's up? It's the mayor, yourself.
Larry Lapointe,
Yep.
Margot is up, and myself.
Okay. And so people should know that there's various fundraisers. I think there's one right here at Danford's April 5th. And we certainly are behind you. We'll be rooting for you. And if there's anything you want to let the folks out there know about that election process, let us know, and we'll get it out there.
I, for one, am looking forward to finishing what we started.
I was thinking that, yeah, because you have so much happening.
We have a lot happening. I failed to mention that on a tennis road up at the country club, we're putting in an all-purpose room, which is going to be for card playing, board meetings. We're looking into putting in a fitness center since we've got our locker rooms back up there. The locker rooms are now part of the village. We're expanding as much as we can up there, and like Renee said, Margot is super supportive.
It couldn't get any better.
no.
You know, I think a big part of what you need to finish is what people have been saying is we have, for example, the shipyard, we have the upper port.
Those are the big ones.
Those are big ones, and I heard last election cycle you just made so much sense about what needed to happen here, and it is happening. You have to finish that.
Absolutely.
You have to be here to finish that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no
And,
doubt.
I laugh because Margot told us the last election, this is it.
I know.
We kind of chuckled about that because she's not leaving until we get this finished either. Depends on what the finish means, but I know she's wrapped up in the uptown.
Let's call it over the hump.
Yeah.
So we get over the hump,
Yeah.
so to speak.
I think we've come a long way.
You send the little baby off,
Yeah.
When it's time, and it's not time yet. So it's a 2-year term, just so everybody knows, right?
It's a 2 year
2 years at a
term.
time. When did you start?
It was 215, I believe. It's my first term.
Yep.
Came out of a lovely retirement. Not realizing.
You remember what they say about guys that retire? You can't fully retire.
Well,
You have to be involved.
I got to tell you, it's a lot of work, but I love it. I really enjoy it.
Good. We appreciate what you do. It's fantastic.
And I have to thank Trustee Loucks, too, because he came out of retirement and he hasn't looked back. And every day he's in the Village Center or he's on the phone. I mean, this is a man who day in and day out, he's just not popping in once a week or showing up for board meetings. He's up at that country club getting his hands dirty. He's in my office, what's going on, budgets and everything else. And I have to say, with the current administration, they are, it's 24/7. And you have to be willing to really dedicate yourself for this village. And, we're lucky enough to have, Trustee Loucks.
Absolutely. Dedication is the word. If you got, I don't want to put you on the spot, but, tell us some things that are coming up. We're now at, what is it, the 15th of March or 16th? But you have a concert, I think, tomorrow night.
We have a concert tomorrow night with our Harborfront Trio. They've provided 9 concerts total for, this season, and they're looking to add another concert series this summer. We have another concert in April. It's our classical music series, which we're going to finish up. We have all of our, programs still rolling out. We're finally going to finalize our summer camp stuff. We have our basketball court being revitalized. Our sport court's going to be installed April 1st. So we have a lot of free programs that we're offering to our residents, which is for the first time Stan has really brought to the table. So our children are playing in a free golf program at Scraggy Hill. Our adults are doing a golf program indoors right now, getting them ready for the outdoor season. We're going to start a free volleyball program at the sport court. So there's so much. They constantly have to check the website to see what's going on and changing, or just pick up the phone and give me a call or come visit me if you want a program or you don't like what I'm doing. Please, my door's open. And
that's very cool. And for those that don't know, it's the Big Red Building, Port Jeff Village Center. The website is portjeff.com. We had a question come up last session. Are we officially off of free parking? Was that 315 that ended?
Yes.
Pretty much, because I know sometimes they extended based on a few things. I didn't know if there was any official word on that. If so, let us know. We'll put it out. Either way, I think I asked Larry Lapointe what the average was to spend on parking down here, and he told me it was $1.50. Okay, so it's as good as free, just about.
Right.
No matter what, it's
Right.
a great deal, and he explained to us, the precious resource that parking is. So he did a wonderful job, and we want you to come back and update us. We're just breaking weather now, as you know. It hasn't broken yet, but when it does, come on back to the show.
Absolutely.
And we like this information. It's really important, and I think it gets people really exposed to what the village has to offer.
A little more information that really has
Please.
to go out. We were scheduled to open our golf course, of course, this Friday.
Right.
That's not happening. We're worried about maybe now.
Maybe you can ice skate.
It could be April 1st before we open.
Yeah.
We do have budgets coming up, too, that we're working on.
Yeah.
Big budgets. Renee's budget, the country club budget. They all come up this time of year, too.
So your year is what? If you're working on budgets in March,
We go to from June 1st
okay.
to May 31st.
Okay.
It's kind of a strange setup. It's a little difficult for us to budget because of our revenues coming in January, February, March.
Mhm.
And the next month we go into a new budget.
Gotcha.
It's a little difficult. It's all projected, educated guessing,
Absolutely.
but we've been doing a pretty good job. We've been coming in on budget. I know Renee is she's a gold mine over here. She's the programs that she puts out there.
Absolutely. You know what I love about the Village Center that we failed to mention so far is there's always something on those walls artistically.
Absolutely.
Either photographs, pictures. There's artists that come in from out of town. It's not just resident artists, right? It's
Yep.
amazing.
Thank you, Kevin, for mentioning that, because the second floor, right now, we have maps of Long
Unbelievable.
Island. That's up. The third floor, I called the school district, Port Jefferson School District, and I said, we need to have the kids' art on the third floor. So right now we have an art show that represents our students from our school district and all of their paintings. So that's really nice. So now the third floor, we're starting to use more of a gallery too, dedicated to our children, to our residents, and getting them out there. So
Yeah, it's fantastic. Those maps, some of them before drones or anything. So it's like, I don't even know how they did it, but they're not accurate, which is makes it pretty cool.
Right.
You know, they're almost accurate.
Right.
Actually, some exist before Nassau County was named Nassau County.
Correct.
Is what I saw. Really cool. So I really suggest people visit that. But no matter what it is, it's always very interesting, and it's a resource that, again, people don't always know it's there. I think Matt Titmus, a good friend of mine, has had a lot of photos there.
Yep.
And there's always something there on the second floor.
Yep, and it's always changing, every 2 months.
Yep.
We have the artist group right now painting, on the third floor. They meet weekly. So you're right, there's just so many different things that are going on. Ice skating just ended
Yep.
to another successful season. So they're getting ready to put my sport court in so I could provide more services for our families.
And what's amazing is how Renee puts it all together.
Yeah, this is what she does.
It's a big puzzle, but it comes together. She does a great job for the village.
Yeah, so we want to mention again, portjeff.com is the resource. There's various Facebook pages which we'll put up in the background so people are always apprised of what's going on. And by all means, you're always welcome back. And thanks for sharing this with us today.
Thank you,
Thank
Kevin,
you.
for your
Thank
time.
you for having us.
You're welcome.